Welcome back. Well, today's book is about a young girl who has a really long name, and she's frustrated by it. Let's read and discover what she finds out about the history of her name. Alma and How She Got Her Name, written by Juana Martinez Neal. Juana is the daughter and granddaughter of artists. Alma and How She Got Her Name was her debut picture book as an author-illustrator and received a 2019 Caldecott honor. She was born in the busy city of Lima, the capital of Peru, but then moved to the U.S. She says, "Now I live in the woods in eastern Connecticut. Here I share a home with my husband, 2 sons, daughter, and our 2 dogs." Alma Sofia Esperanza Jose Puracandala had a long name. Too long, if you asked her. "My name is so long, Daddy. It never fits," Alma said. "Come here," he said. "Let me tell you the story of your name. Then you decide if it fits." "Sophia was your grandmother," he began. "She loved books, poetry, jasmine flowers, and, of course, me. She was the one who taught me how to read." "I love books and flowers, and you too, Daddy. I am Sophia." "Esperanza was your great-grandmother," he continued. "She hoped to travel, but never left the city where she was born. Her only son grew up to cross the 7 seas. Wherever her sailor son went, so did Esperanza's heart." "The world is so big. I want to go see it, Daddy. You and me, together. I am Esperanza." "Jose was my father," Alma's daddy said. "He was an artist with a big family, like many people had back then. Early each morning, he walked to the mountains and the plazas to paint everyday life. Sometimes I went along. Your grandfather taught me to see and love our people. I wake up early every day, and I draw a lot too. This morning I drew a kitty cat for you, Daddy." "I am Jose." "Pura was your great-aunt. She believed that the spirits of our ancestors are always with us, watching over us. When you were born, she tied a red string around your wrist, a charm to keep you safe." "Hello, Pura. It's me, Alma." "Candela was your other grandmother. She always stood up for what was right." "I am Candela." "I love the story of my name. Now tell me about Alma, Daddy. Where does that come from?" "I picked the name Alma just for you. You are the first and the only Alma. You will make your own story." "Alma, Sofia, Esperanza, Jose Puracandala. That's my name, and it fits me just right. I am Alma, and I have a story to tell." The end. All this talk about names, and I kept thinking about a verse from the book of the prophet Isaiah, when the prophet says, the Lord told him, "Now thus says the Lord, He who created you, fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine." And I think that's so comforting and great to think that and realize that God knows me by my name. And He knows you by your name too. Isn't that astounding to think about? And even more astonishing to me is a verse in Psalm 147, which says, "God determines the number of the stars and calls each of them by name." I can't even imagine that. Can you? Our God is truly an awesome God. But how did our author Juana get her name? She says, "My parents named me Juana Carlota Martinez Pizarro. My father named me Juana after his mother, Juana Francisca, and my mother chose the name Carla to honor the memory of her uncle Carlos. But my father, a man of decisions, when it was time to register my birth, changed Carla to Carlotta on the birth certificate. He was convinced Carlotta was a mighty name he wanted for his daughter. And thanks to that change, I got stuck with what I thought was the most old-fashioned, harsh, ugly, and way too Spanish name in all of Lima, Peru, where I grew up. Little did I know that later on, after I moved to the United States, it would feel unique and remind me every day of where I come from." Isn't that interesting? She didn't like her name at first until later she realized how much it told her about herself, just like Alma in this book. So come back next week and let's read another story together. And by the way, what's the story behind your name?